Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Kira versus Everyone, premiering on YouTube November 18th. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World and the ShoPowSho. So, of course, it's the Dobro, the Babinka Boy, the leader of the Hala Hala Homies in the Cine Gang. And today is the man who actually did the introduction to the ShoPowSho. He was the filmmaker behind it. So not only is he the man behind Kira versus Everyone, he's our ShoPowSho intro creator from Astray Productions, my brother, my Kuya, Pare, Joe Carabeo. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's great to be back. This is such an amazing show to be on. I hope everyone knows how amazing it is.
Well, it's amazing also because of you, sir. Thank you for working with me to put together that opener of enjoying the good Filipino food that we did while making it. And we got to do another one, though. We got to do another one when time permits.
It's so influential, too, now, because now we have all these other Filipino places popping up because of that.
That is true. And I want to show love and light to them and our friends that you work with quite a bit at the studios. I'm forgetting the studios, the SNRG cats.
Oh, yeah, over at Crescendo Studios.
Crescendo. Yeah. So mad love to our local DMV Filipinos. But mad love to you, Joe. We've been talking, ever since we did that intro. I need to have you on this whole thing that I created, and just time schedules couldn't permit, but it's a blast to have you here, especially for this project. As you know, that you put a lot of heart in. I was honored to be a part of it. Kira versus Everyone, dropping on YouTube finally for the rest of the world on November 18th.
Finally.
Joe Carabeo revenge film. Let's talk about where this German of an idea started. I want to give people some insight on the whole idea of this project and putting it together, especially for those filmmaker friends of both of ours that watch what I do. Where did Kira versus Everyone come from?
I mean, if we bring it back to the very beginning of the films that I wanted to make, I come from the dark. I come from the Batman, the animated series, the dark noir era. I come from V for Vendetta. I come from a comic book world, and those are always the type of movies I've always wanted to make. And not to be cliche about it, but I really, for maybe a 10-year span, I never really made those movies. I don't know why. I felt like I had to prove myself in telling other genre type of films, nicer films, right? But the pandemic does something to you. You know what I'm saying?
It's what created ShoPowSho and me hollering at you, hey, I got to film something. I need to do something that I've always wanted to do. Yeah.
And literally, when it became sort of safe to go out there, I was like, let's make the type of movie I've always wanted to do. Maybe not at that massive bazillion Marvel DC level scale, but at least tell the type of characters I wanted. And I love those sort of vigilantes. I love that V for Vendetta. I love that girl with the dragon tattoo. I love these type of revenge, simple stories. And when it came time to make my next film, where I felt like it's that's time, I was like, let me do that. Let me finally get a little bloody. Let me get a little dark. Let's not make it so happy all the time. You know what I mean? It's just let's have some fun with the level of action, the level of mystery that we want. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to tell those stories of intrigue and sort of the underbelly of politics and the underbelly of these revenge stories. And that's literally what Kira versus Everyone is. It's a revenge story. I always joked about this, that one of the films I always wanted to make was a political slasher film. So that's I always wanted to have that. I always wanted to tell a slasher film, but it's set out in DC and in politics, and we take out all the evil politicians. I always felt like that's a great story. Maybe another one, but this is that one step. That's that one step, because I love those types of things. I love those simple revenge stories, and I wanted to have a character of my own, and that's what this is.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, and I want to see that too, by the way. So yes, you cut your teeth in these amazing festival shorts that won awards for all the right reasons, because you are a talented filmmaker, brother. And so I love that you finally, it sucks that the pandemic pushed us all into doing the things we really wanted to do, right? But that you finally did it, and you're now, infused by it and by the energies that were to put it together, and everybody that you got involved. So Kira versus Everyone, in regards to, so we're going to do this. Talk to me about bringing along one of your I would say she's a muse in a way because she's appeared in some of those other projects, but she's also an amazing makeup artist. Getting your Kira in Jesse Campbell.
See, I'm very fortunate that, I work in the film industry, I work as a cinematographer and a director, and that we are surrounded by, and also Patrick, and we also are surrounded by this great talent. And one of the first things that, when you go through film school and when you read the books, like Robert Rodriguez is like, his rebel book about how to make films, you find the elements that you have around you to make the movie. And for so long, Jessie has been such a great, we'd say muse, we'd say a collaborator. She's been a makeup artist, she's been, in front of the camera, and she is also like a Muay Thai kickboxer or a Muay Thai fighter, and
badass, bro.
a pure badass. And it's funny because the movie we made before this was called Rough. It was a short film about a romantic film about two people trained for an MMA fight. And it was so funny. I was just like, well, that's nice, but I feel like, Jessie, let's go into that dark vigilante territory. We can make this. So we actually collaborated on the design of this character. We went through different looks, and we actually went through this, went and created the outfits and stuff like that. And it really isn't very far from what Jessie would normally wear either. So, but yeah, it's like, we just wanted something with the face paint. Even we drew a little bit from like, maybe a Viking. We drew a little bit of all the cool comic characters, something simple, but nothing too heavy. And it was just so awesome. Like, Jessie is a fighter. We even went through the choreography with Madeline to do a lot of this fight techniques and all this stuff. And it really is, again, it's one of those things I said before. It's like, we want to make something that we want to make and see. And Jessie, I would love to see Jessie kick ass. And Jessie's not only kicking ass, but taking heads in this movie.
She's a real life badass and so dope in this role. Shout out to Jessie and Madeline. Madeline is an amazing actress as well, who you've worked on some of your other previous projects as well. I want to ask you, the weapon that she chooses as a filmmaker, I thought it was kind of wise in a way, because again, we don't have the big budgets as a Marvel or DC type of film, right? To choose the club. Why the club? Was that because, guns, I'd have to do, sound effects, special effects to make gun blasts or something like that? Why did you have Kira choose like this retractable billy club?
All right, so we'll go back into my filmmaking history. So I made a film called The Madcap 3, which was, I would say, one of my first feature films. It had lots of guns in it. That's one of the things you make outside of, like, when you're in film school. You make either a suicide movie or you make gangster movies with guns, right? And I have a self-imposed rule on myself since that, is to not have guns. Oh. I tried my hardest to not have guns. I'm not really a gun. It's a crutch. I mean, I guess it's the Batman in me too, right? Like,
I love that. Yeah.
But like, it's a creative thing too. It's like, okay, everything gets solved with the gun. But I felt like, if you have real skill, you don't need guns, right? Or creatively, it's also a crutch. But I felt like, okay, what other weapons can she have? And I felt like, I think I was watching either like I don't know, maybe a kung fu movie or something where it was like the weapon would like expand. And I thought like the baton, sort of like Daredevil has a baton. Sort of similarities. A baton and an extractable baton itself. I think that's such a deadly thing, because I remember even watching what's it called? What is it? The No Country for Old Men, right? And Anton Chigurh, his main weapon was just the air compressor, and he put that up to people's heads, and there's no gun there. He used that to kill people. And I feel like, let's get creative with our violence, right? So the baton was cool because it also has you have that attack mode, you have that retractable mode, and also she has two weapons. She has a knife and she has a baton. Both things can be very quiet at the same time, and I thought it's a great visual. So yeah, I have a self-imposed like no gun rule, but obviously there's a little bit of guns here, but you never see it used the way we do. I only gave one person the permission to take out their gun. Right?
Yo, I love that explanation, dude. And I think I hope all the other creative filmmakers are listening to this on that regard. For
Right?
the
How many
archetype
movies?
of the character type, I just, if you are badass, you don't really need that. And
And also,
especially nonviolent.
how many movie posters do you see? It's like a guy in a suit with a gun, pointing a
Exactly.
gun here. It's like, I mean, after a while, you're like, okay, you can just line them up against the wall in the not, I guess not Blockbuster, but you know what I'm saying? Like you can see like, oh, it's all the same thing. If we're being creative, you got to try something different.
Dude, that's why you're such an awesome cat, brother. You're as a talent in creating the archetype of a true hero or vigilante character. I think I like that. It makes a lot of sense. And on a filmmaking front, as I was kind of saving, because I thought maybe cost saving measures with effects and everything like that, because you have to do the blast and gun, all that could, be a cost saving measure, which I think is also a cost saving measure as well. But
Yeah.
the reasons for the reason why she has a club, because I never knew that as part of the production. I love that, dude. Just a great idea, and I hope people are catching that. With that being said, talking about more of the other characters, I'm your Mr. Brown. If y'all didn't know, I'm in this film as well. But we have Mr. Blue Black. I'm a Quentin Tarantino fan. Did that come from Reservoir Dogs? Where did kind of coming up with the baddies, if you will, come from? And Ulysses Campbell, who plays our senator, if you will, Horace Black.
I can do the self-deprecating way of answering that question and say I'm just really bad at creating names. Like, when you're writing the script, I don't know about you, but when you write stuff, like I get so stuck for whether I'm writing a comic book or whether I'm writing like movies or a television show, like names or something. Remember, my name is Joe. Like, I'm not named Xander or anything like that. So like my attachment to like names is it's a very simplistic. So but yeah, it is an homage to Reservoir Dogs, or technically homage to just crime noir, because that's Quentin Tarantino also found that from other stuff as well. And I just also felt like it's so cool to use color again, because at the same time people are named by their color, and also they're cool. That also motivates the wardrobe that they get to wear at the same time. I love having that. I love having identities towards our characters that they can actually just be part of. Like, oh, he's Mr. Red. He's wearing red. Maybe that also matches him mentally. Maybe he's mad or he's passionate. So these colors mean something.
I dig that. And Ulysses Campbell, our Senator Horace Black, who kind of is your, who Kira's main nemesis is in this project. What was it like casting Ulysses?
So I had such a many, Ulysses is amazing, because whenever I put him in any project, and I love working with Ulysses, we would have long conversations about like who he's playing. And, it's funny because I've never had him play essentially the antagonist. Is he a bad guy or a good guy? Well, it's not up to me. But I remember having the longest discussion of what I want to see him as a fan or as a creator, what I want to see Ulysses as. And I kept on bringing it back to, what was it? Gus from Breaking Bad. I was like, I want to see that. And then that branched off into like, actually what this should be? This should be your audition to play the Clock King in Batman. It's like, that'll be so awesome, because I love the Clock King, and there are time references in this movie. So that to me was our going point. This is our audition to one day, play to make a Batman movie or TV show and have the Clock King the way he should be done. And like, I thought, hey man, Ulysses, let's do the Clock King. He's like, well, Joe, who's the Clock King? And then I loved having this discussion about the importance of time and pacing and just breathing and all that stuff. So it was really cool. And I loved working with Ulysses, because usually in a lot of projects, we would have him smile. We've seen him in many commercials smiling and being this, but I was like, dude, this is you can smile, you're happy, but the fact is that is a ploy for everyone else. And there's certain scenes in this movie where you get to see these two sides of Senator Black's character. And I love that he can do both. He can do cold, and he can do hot, and he can do friendly at the same time. You can see all these. And you never really know where it's coming from. You never really know where Horace Black is coming from. And maybe in the future we get to, but I feel like Ulysses just like bit right into this thing. There was a fun moment where, I mean, his character gets a little bit physical. And I love his discussions like, well, should he really get hit in the legs? Is there any way not? And I love the discussion of like, yes, this pain must happen. Hopefully when people watch it, they'll see what I'm talking about.
Definitely. Again, when y'all can watch it when it drops on YouTube on November 18th, check it out. Kira versus Everyone, a Joe Carabeo revenge film. So we've talked about Kira, we've talked about Madeline, we talked about Ulysses. Me as one of the Mr. Browns, the rest of the posse.
Can we talk about this? Can we talk about you in this movie too? Or
sure. I'm trying to, be modest here, but go ahead, brother.
Well, one of my favorite things about working with Patrick is that he would do anything to make the project happen. And as you can guys see, he's very hardworking. He always loves making things happen. And Patrick is actually a really key instrumental, we would say even producer in this film, because without him, we do not have the lead vehicle of this movie. I don't know for people who have seen a lot of my past films, I always use a car in some central form. The Madcap 3 was a central car. Even in one of my new films, Delete, there's a central car. And to have Patrick donate his car for this was such a great thing, was such amazing. And I felt like, I don't know. I can't thank you enough for making this movie happen, Patrick. Beyond your awesome performance, and I don't know, I'm a big fan of your performance in the car as well. Like, it's one of those things where you may not have the most lines, but you speak the most in this movie. if that makes the most sense.
I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate it. It just made me want to be like getting back in front of that camera again. I love to act. So
also, I love
filmmakers out there. I'm ready to act.
If you got for a lot of people who missed this in the festival run, Patrick Strange looks awesome on the big screen. He looks awesome on the big screen. When I was watching this thing, I was like, dude, Patrick is great on this screen. Like, you know what I mean? He looks awesome up there.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Yeah, man, a lot of fun. Was always looking forward to working with you on a film project, and hopefully the two of us can do something again. And yo, as Joe said, I'm ready to work. Ready to work. I love it. I love this industry. Anyway, again, I'm trying to be modest, man. Thank you for that, Joe. Evan Luzzy, Dewey Tron, some of the people you had involved working behind the camera with you, some talented friends, Troy, Jeffrey Allen. What was it like getting the look and feel? I love some of the colors, how you kind of, even the non-color, and then there's like the blue lights. Can you talk to me about your, because this is a dream project for you, finally, making it happen, getting the look right for Kira versus Everyone?
Well, so there's an ongoing joke that I've had so much with like all my collaborators, and everyone knows, I don't know if everyone knows, but I am a film noir person. I'm just like, it's in my blood to make things black and white. I almost have to fight with like all my collaborators to be like, but can we make it black and white? I don't know why. I just grew up on that. Even the comics, I'm like black and white. And so my cinematographer, amazing award-winning cinematographer, Kuni Owi, I finally get to work with him. We have been great friends for so many years. We've worked in this industry for so long, and this maybe maybe this was a pandemic thing. We're like, finally, let's just freaking make something together. So he was one of my side-by-side main collaborator on this, Kuni Owi. He was the director of photography. He was the man I entrusted with the look, and this is also a rare thing for me to entrust people, because I'm in a way, I come from that Robert Rodriguez school where I can direct and shoot at the same time. So to have someone like Kuni, that I love his style, I love the way he can communicate, which is weird because on set we barely communicated because we already have that in sync. But yeah, we had the plan. We have the film takes place in one location. Okay, we rented out a whole entire 3-story garage, just like the movie The Raid, if you've guys seen that, where it's like a whole central floor location. And so Kuni and I would go to locations, because what's funny is This is actually the closest location I've ever filmed one of my films. It's literally 5 minutes away from where I'm located. And so we could easily walk back and forth and walk into location and plan out where everything can go. And, so it's cool. We had the layout, we had the plans. And so to say at first I wanted it to be in black and white, it would not be an understatement. since it's literally like, it's like, and what's fun is it can be in black and white, but the one thing you might notice is I come from that Sin City aesthetic. Like what color, how can we use color as a weapon? If I'm going to have color, what can it be, and how can we do it? So that was the fun part. Now, how can we use the lights to tell the part of the story? How can we use the non-lights to tell part of the story? I love those things, and Cooney was with me on that, and I love that. I'm not even sure this is out of all his portfolio, I'm not sure he shot anything like this before. So I'm really proud of what he did, and I hope he is too. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing to embrace darkness in a way.
Yeah, shout out to Cooney, man. Just dope. I love the look and feel, and just some of the shots. Like you had me looking at my side mirror, and you use that even with Taurus Black when they're looking some of the vantage points, some of the stills that you put out people can see on IMDb, and that they were used for some of the promotional materials. Just the feel and everything. Yeah, this poster. Yeah, just you can see your graphic design capability as well in everything.
And like that, I think that comes from also the comic book background too.
Yeah,
we know let's be honest. I don't want to. For me, I'm not trying to make a comic book movie. You know what I mean?
But it comes through.
Yeah, but like there is the communications of how to tell a story. I think is so awesome to learn from the comic book world. You know what I mean?
Agreed. So Kira versus everyone again, y'all. November 18th. Check it out here on YouTube. It is a short film though, but I know, and maybe you don't want to give this too much away, but can we talk a little bit more about? So specifically, we talked about it itself, but can you tell the audience what the story is about and where this might be leading? Because I know there's some efforts, but we got to get people checking it out, getting eyes on it, and hopefully getting the people together to.
See, like, saying it's a short film is such a weird thing too, because the way my brain structure is, I grew up on Batman the Animated Series, which is 22-minute episodes, 22-minute episodes. It's 21 or 22 minutes long, so it's an episode length. You know what I mean? It's like if I can make this, into more episodes, that's probably what's going to happen. If someone gives me that money, I'm not going to say no to make this into a full series. I have a feature script. I have more episodes with this character that could just keep on going. And that's the hope and dream of, we can call it a proof of concept. Troy Jeffrey Allen has said this is an issue 0. And to me, these are things we can just keep on making. So if people want to see it, tune in and just tell us to make this thing. But yeah, so this is an underbelly story. This is a unsuspecting revenge story. So the plot is simple. It doesn't get any more simple than this. This is a person being hunted. You know what I mean? It's a universal story. Whenever I've done all the festivals and all the press, and I've tried to simplify what this really is. And revenge is one of the most universal motivations in every single story that is ever told, even if it's a romance story. The taming of the shrew. There's revenge in there. Like 50 First Dates. There's a revenge type. There's people who are having revenge on their life or past life or on someone. This is a revenge story, and this, in a sense, is also familiar. I guess you can say. Imagine V for Vendetta mixed with the County Monte Cristo and the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Those are the blends of this story. Senator Horace Black, the main character, has just received a humanitarian award. And on his journey back to his car, people start disappearing. Let's find out what happens next. Such a simple story.
It is simple, but I think there's so many layers to it. That's what makes it so awesome, because I think when people finally see it, for me, for example, I'm raising a daughter, and I have so many amazing women in my life. I love female empowerment, and I'm for women empowerment. Because I want them to be strong, and and
it's
all
about
that.
Time.
And I think it's about time. And I think that's what people will feel when they follow Jessie as Akira, as she meets all these people in this. And so I really hope people support it. And like you said, whether we get the full feature, I as well would love to see several shorts because I know you will kill it, my brother. But yeah, I just want all things to happen. But I think there's, in regards to the story within it itself, I just think there's so much substance there that even though it's a full up revenge story, as you're saying, and we're pushing it as that,
it's a good
I think there's
marketing,
layers
right?
there that people will really enjoy, and that will speak to to people in
It's
a lot
like
of ways.
I can't say it's a Joe Carabeo comedy, but what's funny is that like when we showed it, say even at each different film festival has different reactions to it. Say like at the Maryland International Film Festival, they popped at the scares. They're like, like I guess older people around me, they like when they're jump scares, and I forgot there were jump scares in this thing when I was watching. They're like, oh my god, like I forgot about that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so when I was announced to come up to take the Q&A, I remember the moderator was like, "This movie is going to give me nightmares," and
Oh wow,
I forgot that's what we made because
crazy.
it's you have the horror element too. There is that suspense horror element, and then when we go to the Fredericksburg Film Festival, people laughed at the jokes, and I forgot there's jokes in this thing too. So you
A
have
lot of in jokes too. Joe Carabeo in jokes. NW. I
the
love that too.
it's a genre bender, but at the same time, you're motivated by this character's motivation to get even, and the plot is why, but then not at the end of the day, the plot is who is Kira, hey, who is Senator Horace Black. So we're unraveling all these questions of who these people actually are, and we take that to the very end, and then the best thing is what happens next. I want people to see what happens next. And I love it. I forget people laughed. People were scared. People enjoyed the gore. I remember one of the notes at a film festival, I think maybe it was the Indie Shorts Film Festival. They were like, I love the gore in this movie. And that took me aback because when people say gore, they think of like maybe what Hostel or what's another, like this Evil Dead 2. And I forgot. We have
Yeah.
we have that in this movie. That's what's happened, Patrick. 2 years is a long time. I start to forget what my movie is until each time I watch it.
We're getting older, brother. We're getting
But
older.
but
But
it's fun. It's fun to see that. It's fun to see people surprise me about what they see in this film. And I'm looking forward because on November 18th at 7 p.m., I'm going to be watching with you guys. It's a watch along in this premiere.
oh, cool.
So it'll be interesting to just to see that, to see if people respond, and it's fun just to get this movie out there and cause some trouble.
I love that. I'm excited for you, sir, and wishing you all the love and sending you all the virtual flowers for that. So before we go, again, everybody, November 18th, watch along with Joe, Kira versus everyone on YouTube. Are there anything else? So as we said, we want everybody to check this out, support it, tell their friends, and you have, what is it going to take for you to make the other projects? How can people, push you to make the next Kira or anything else? And isn't there something different? I think I saw, you and I haven't seen each other in a minute, but I think I saw, because we're friends on all the socials, there's like this Station 22 or something. What is
Yeah.
new going on with Joe that we can promote to sign off?
So that's one that we wanted to do after Kira. We want to do something different. I'm at that point in my life. Let's do something. Let's experiment. So we secretly made a film series called Station 33. And I like to tie everything together in my world. I'm trying to tie my comics subtly. I'm trying to tie my comics with my film stories together, so to speak. But I don't want to tell anybody about it. But go to station33.site.
Okay.
If possibly let loose something bad into the world. And I'm not sure how people are going to take it, but don't blame me. But I think it's going to be awesome because it's evil. It's like so, Patrick, it is so evil. But station33.site, it is a simple thing. Go on that website, watch it, and just take it all in. And I think you'll see some performances that might absolutely blow your mind. And that's another thing where what we do next with that project might be the most dangerous things we've ever done in the whole entire life. I can say it's secret, it's evil, and there might be a demon involved. But we're having fun. We're having fun. Station33.site, new film series. It's one of those things where it's like I'm trying to do a reverse marketing of it, where it's like I'm telling you about it, but I'm not telling you about what it is. But I want you to watch it and see what happens next. It's cool. Speaking of Madeline, you'll probably see, I believe, one of Madeline's best performances that you will ever see so far is in Station 33, and I mean it's a completely different performance than what she did in Kira vs. Everyone. So if you should become a fan of her. But she's a great talent.
There you go. So shout out to Madeline. Shout out to Station 33. I'll go check that out, man. Although you have me kind of apprehensive because of what you said. I don't know if I want to unleash evil. There's enough evil in the world right now.
That's true.
But well, how can we also push it for Kira? For the next Kira?
When you watch this, you'll see. Yes, it's a yes and a no. It's a yes and a no.
Gotcha. So how can we push you for next Kira? Anything that you're going to say or talk about when you have the watch along on November 18th?
How can you push me to make the next Kira?
Yeah. How can people support you and get everything going for the next installment of Kira?
Oh, this is what going like
this past is November 18th.
Here's the thing that I would really like, and this is also just a call out, and just because of my tiredom of making movies. You and I want, Patrick, I want to team up with a really, really amazing producer. I want to team up with I want to collaborate or get noticed by one of the best producers in the world, because I believe that I can make great things. But at the same time, being a producer and a director, it's two fighting elements. And I've never had a collaborator as a full-on legit producer, and I would love to get the word out. I'm like, man, I want to work with you guys. I would love to work with amazing producers out there. And if I can find one of those, we can change the world, man.
All right. Well, I know there's some watching on this. So looking at y'all, a great Filipino American creator, my man Joe Carabeo, with so much talent. I spoke with him before we got rolling on this promotion of Kira vs. Everyone ShoPowSho episode, that I'll have him back to talk about filmmaking and just everything he has done also as a comics creator.
We're going to get down and dirty on that too, right? It's a down and dirty conversation.
Yeah, we're going to get a down and dirty conversation next time. We'll have another Joe Carabeo episode, just like I did with my pal HP Mendoza, whose project was The Secret Art of Human Flight, that ran the festival circuit this year, was amazing. And then we just had a 2-hour conversation that's up on now. As this is the latest ShoPowSho episode as of this recording that's up right now. So expect a long conversation with my man Joe. We got a lot to get into of what inspired him as a creative and all of that.
And if I were to leave people on what I would like people to leave with after watching Kira vs. Everyone, I found this is the best thing. When you're done watching Kira vs. Everyone, I would like the audience to really realize what is important to them.
I love that. Simple, sweet, my man, Kuya Joe.
simple, sweet. That's who I am, right?
There you go, simple, sweet. My brother Joe Carabeo. Check out Kira vs. Everyone, YouTube, November 18th. And also, as I said, we'll have him back to get the back and forth, the rundown, the down and dirty on his self as a comics creator, filmmaker, all of that. Salamat, Joe. Appreciate you. Mahakita, y'all. Another ShoPowSho episode in the can. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World and the ShoPowSho. Peace. Mahakita. Salamat. All right, bye. I'm gonna count us in. The 3, 2, 1 count. Introduce myself. Introduce ShoPowSho. Introduce you, and we'll just spotlight Kira versus everyone. And then
talking about you being in it too.
Or? Yeah. You can talk about that if you want to.
You're a crucial part of it.
But we'll just talk. We'll promote the project. We'll promote everybody in it, and then, like I said, I want to do another full interview with you. About everything about you as a creative filmmaker, all of that. But we'll just do this special one just about Kira right now.
Cool.
All right, let's count us in. We are already recording. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.